Hello, guys. It's good to be back. Again, I'm Juanito from Team Reddit, and joining me today again, as always, is...
Hulkster from Team USA.
We're very excited to be back today. It's been a while. Before we introduce our guest, I just want to tell everyone Merry Christmas. I hope everyone had a very nice holiday. I know Fingersoft didn't exactly give us a very nice Christmas with 5 track events. Great. That was fantastic.
And you had a tough opponent.
And we had a tough opponent. We'll get to that if we have time as well. But anyways, for today's guest, this is a man that has dealt with wildlifers, not wildlings. But he is the king of the north, and we don't mean Jon Snow. Please give a warm welcome to today's guest, Turtle.
Hey guys, thank you so much
Welcome.
for that awesome intro.
Welcome, guys. How are
King
you,
of the
man?
North. That's me.
King of the North. Quite literally
Yeah.
now, yeah? Your team is now a North.
It is, yeah. Amazing team. So
Is it as
join
amazing
if you're Swedish
as-
and
Is it
Norwegian.
as amazing as wildlifers?
Wow, good question. We're right off the bat. I think it's not as strong as you'd expect, but team atmosphere is on top where it's supposed to be.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to begin with, actually, before you introduce yourself, I just wanted to give a nice little story that I thought would be interesting for people to hear about.
Okay.
Because
cool.
you and I have actually never been in the same team, but
Nope.
I think we've talked quite a bit, and I mean, as far as the game goes, I'd consider you my friend, and I just wanted to tell everybody how that came to be, because I don't know if you remember, but I think
I
it's
do.
a nice story. You do?
It's an awesome story. Yeah, if it's
Yeah, oh,
from the
perfect.
tournament.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was
So
actually thinking about bringing that up.
really,
Yeah, I was. It's an awesome story.
I agree. It's nice. Do you
Yeah.
wanna actually tell it if you
Oh,
want?
sure. Yeah, sure. So I believe it was the first GP tournament hosted, and there were problems. I remember the mods were working their asses off, and I think it was top 400, where I did not get entered because I think there were some issues about the time not updating. And I think I wrote it in the tournament issues channel. And I think after about an hour or so, where I was a bit angry and complaining, you just randomly sent me a private message where you told me that you would offer me your spot. And that was so awesome because I believe I was a wildlifer. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if Wildlifers I don't know if it was Wildlifers or what was the name before?
No lifers.
No Lifers. It might have
Yeah,
been No Lifers. I'm not sure at this point, to be honest.
maybe. Actually, it was wildlifers, but I don't know if you were in Reddit or whatever, but just the fact that a player whom I have not spoken to before, like, came forward and gave me that opportunity. That's awesome.
Yeah. No, I remember that as well. It was nice because,
Yeah.
I mean, of course you didn't know me because, I mean, actually, I was in Reddit at that time, by the way. But
Okay.
obviously you didn't know me because I wasn't really known at that
Yeah.
point.
You were a noob.
And yeah, I still noob, but
Yeah,
a
that's
little
right.
bit more well known. But yeah, I mean, I had watched your videos as well. I mean, you could say I was a bit of a fan,
Ooh.
and I had seen your rants in the past in the
Yeah.
Fingersoft server,
Yeah.
and I saw that you had this issue with the tournament, and of course I knew you were a good player, so I knew it was a shit player, to be honest, and I think it was quarterfinals or semifinals, something like that,
Maybe.
and I just knew. Like even on the Reddit chat, I was telling everybody like, look, I'm not gonna get any farther. It's that simple. Like someone might as well take my spot.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the mods for the tournament didn't allow it, but
Mm.
really I was willing for you to have it.
Yeah, thanks. That's so awesome that someone would do that. I don't
Yeah.
think I would have done the same. I'm too what's the word? Egoistic, maybe. I don't
Fair
know.
enough. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, that was awesome. So thank you for that.
No, anytime, man, anytime. Anyways, so for anybody that might not know you that well, please introduce yourself.
Sure. Well, just shoot in some questions if you have any. I think I can make like a good enough intro by myself, but if you want something added, just ask. So my name is Turtle, my in-game name, and I play for the Team North at this moment. I'm a co-leader there, and I'm probably best known for being the Wildlifers leader for what I believe to be might be 6 months, 7 months before the big collapse. I'm sure everybody, all the listeners know what I'm talking about. I think everybody listening to this podcast are like as big as nerds as we are. So
Yes,
you
pretty much.
probably, yeah. So I was the leader of Wildlifers for quite some time, and we got banned, reset, which I believe we're going to talk about in this podcast.
Oh, you can be
Yeah,
sure of that.
100%.
Yeah. And before that, wow, I don't know why I chose to do it like backwards in time. But here goes. No Lifers was before Wildlifers. I was the leader of that. And before that, I don't know. I think I was a very normal player, an average one, who just played a bit too much per day. Yeah, that's me. Was that long enough?
Sure. I mean, I have a lot of stuff to ask you. Do you want to
Well,
start, Hulk?
Yeah, so the first thing I know that people are going to be interested in finding out about is how did you come up with the name Turtle?
yeah, that's a good question. I get asked that quite a lot. And it's pretty simple. I think it's a German folktale called The Turtle and the Hare, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, where the story is pretty much spoiler alert, by the way, if you haven't heard this story. The hare gets cocky and the turtle wins. So I guess I believe that I was this sort of underdog and that people wouldn't expect me to do good in hill climb racing too, and I'd end up in first place somehow. And that's pretty much my thoughts on my name.
That's cool. That's really nice.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to know is, did you start playing when HCR2 came out, or were you also an all-time player of HCR1?
I did play Hill Climb Racing 1, but not as serious because I that was only adventure, wasn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, so I think I'd unlocked all the vehicles and the courses, but I don't know. I just think I grinded for coins when there was nothing better to do, like toilet visits and plane rides, pretty much.
Funny thing is, I remember when we did the episode on Hulk and I,
Mhm.
I didn't mention, but I did play Hill Climb Racing 1 actually.
Oh, you did?
And yeah, the only thing I remember about that game is playing, I think it was the city map, I assume, and just using the formula and just grinding coins
Yeah,
all day long.
yeah.
But that's it. I mean, I think I played maybe like 2 months, maxed out the formula, and that was it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
never
so I
played
played.
the first one.
You did not.
You did it?
No.
How did you find the second one?
I actually used to play a game. I liked playing like truck games, like off-road truck. I forget what the name of it was, but I played this game that was similar to Hill Climb 2, and that you have the same graphics layout, but the thing that got me really mad was if you landed incorrectly, your wheels fell off and your truck blew up, and um, it got really annoying to me. So I just, was just searched for games similar to that because I liked the layout, and lo and behold, I found Bill. Hill
We're
Climb
happy you did.
Racing too. And the first time I played it, I was thinking, wow, this Jeep is really slow. I don't know how this is a racing game. This is kind of weird. And then, next thing you know, you're playing it hours a day.
Yep,
Yeah, that's true.
pretty much.
Anyway, something that I'm actually really interested in, I'm sure most people also are, because I myself don't even know the history of Wildlifers team as a whole. I know it's been through multiple mergers and names. So can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I can try my best, but I have to admit I actually do not know the entire history myself.
Sure, that's fine.
Yeah, because before Wildlifers became a thing, I remember talking to the leaders, which was Felix, Benji, and Hothams. And they had just broken up with what was it? Was it World? Help me here.
Worldwide?
Worldwide? Yeah, that's probably right.
The Verishack team.
Yeah. So I think
Okay.
they had just been through a failed merge. And before that, I honestly do not know. I keep calling them the reptile side of the team because they were called Wild Reptiles before.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe at one point they were called Wild Crocodiles, and they merged with Schildkrötus. Sorry about my German.
No worries.
Yeah.
I don't think we can say that.
Yeah, which actually means turtle. So that's awesome.
Good point.
Yeah,
that is cool.
Maybe you can put that one day.
That's what
Yeah.
That's why they have a turtle next to the name.
That's right. And I've always liked to think that they're my biggest fans, but I found out that they were not. But yeah, so that's the reptile side, which I'm not sure is correct. So I'm sorry if that's a bit off. But my own side, I can tell you, we started as no lifers. I made the team myself on the second day after the team update came out. I remember that because some teams scored after a day and were like way ahead. And so this team was one of the Norwegian teams that were competing against everyone else. And I guess I was just a bit lucky that some of the other better Norwegian guys joined my team, which was actually called Speedy McFly in the start. I don't know.
Nice.
I was creating
and it. Sorry, if I can if I can get involved in a second.
Of course.
When you started the team and when the team update came out, what was your GP at the time?
Ooh.
Actually, I mean, you didn't know that, but how advanced were you?
I was not advanced at all. I had been driving cups. That's everything I did with Rally. So Rally was the only car I was somehow good at.
Yeah, that's funny.
Okay.
Yeah, so my GP was probably at 5,000, if I have to guess. 6,000 maybe.
Oh, that's huge still, though. I mean,
is that big?
For the beginning, I would say that's pretty big for the start.
Oh, well, maybe I'm lying.
I mean, considering considering that even now, I would say the average GP nowadays is, I don't know, I would say around 4,000 to 5,000.
Yeah.
Starting off with the team updates, 5,000 is, I mean, you have a pretty decent GP. I mean, that's a huge advantage, I think.
Yeah, of course. GP is a big advantage. It is. But I don't know, what do you remember the max GP at the time team events came out?
No way. Because remember the GP counter thing didn't even come out till a few months after.
You're right.
So
Exactly.
yeah, right. So in the beginning, I think it was like, I'm just gonna pull something out of my brain, like 8-7. No, it was 8-7-5-9 with the truck,
Right.
and before that, maybe a little bit less. I can't remember now.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
And that was around the time when the
Uh,
racing truck came out, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That was when the racing truck came out. So before it was, I don't know what the maximum is on the racing truck. So
like right after the team update?
say again, sorry.
After the team update, the racing truck was released?
It was around that
I
time,
think
I
no,
think, right?
yeah, I
Okay.
think it was the team update came out, then maybe a few updates, and then the GP counter came out, and then the racing truck came out.
Yeah, cool. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'm bad at knowing the updates and when they came. I have a
No,
real
all of us
Yeah.
are.
yeah, I have a really bad like long-term and short-term, I guess, memory. So just I'm sorry in advance. I'm gonna try my best with everything.
Don't worry. Your name says it all. You're turtle. You're slow. We get
Yeah, that was an awesome hint that you dropped last episode.
Or is
By
he,
the way.
Everyone got it,
or
man.
is he saying, before you guys put me in the hot seat, just to let you guys know, my memory is really bad.
Oh yeah, that's an excuse.
Oh, yeah, he's setting up. He's setting up. That's true.
Yep, I don't know why wildlifers got bad, to be honest.
We'll
He
get to that. We'll
forgets.
get to that. Let's keep
I forgot
fit.
it. Sorry. Yep.
Anyways, go ahead, man. Continue with what you were saying.
Sure. So at first, Speedy McFly was the name of no lifers, and we got some pretty cool players. I remember Yabba, still a great friend of mine.
Yeah.
And Fluffy, and let's see,
Fluffy.
Patton, I think. Yeah. So I remember specifically those three guys that joined early and became my co-leaders, and we just wrecked. So that was fun.
With no lifers, how high did you get in the rankings?
We actually, I think it was 7th place. I have a screenshot that we were 7th.
Oh, if you can share that with me, I'll post it.
I can try.
That'll be
I
nice.
can try. It was about when teams had 1,300 trophies, I believe. So I don't know. I don't think we had met anybody good and just won every game. It was random.
Okay.
Yeah. So
And then
we actually met Reddit, and got our shoes knocked off. I think we lost. Yeah, that was crazy. I think we realized then that we were not a top 7 team. We were probably top 300, to be honest. So we had just been lucky.
Geez.
Yeah. Anyways, I think the ball just kept rolling. We were pretty high on the rankings, and I think everybody knows that being high on the ranking is attractive to other players who want to switch teams. So I remember we always tried to keep a spot or two open just in case somebody good came along and felt like joining a top team, because we actually look like a top team. So I guess we got some pretty good players. Everybody was quite active. And when the ball starts rolling, you just keep on going, and we got better and better until one day where we actually made this. I think this is how it went. We made this server for Norwegians, and that's where I met this guy called Sondre, and we talked, and he was on another Norwegian team, which was called Norge, and I convinced him.
Oh, sorry. Is that the team that, I mean, okay, you said it in Norwegian, so it
Yeah.
sounded fancy, but we would read it as Norge,
Yep,
like Norge.
that's correct. Means Norway,
okay,
by the
nice.
way.
Okay,
Yeah. So it was one of the national teams, and I talked to him. He was himself a really great player. I don't know if you remember him. He was quite active in the beginning of Wildlifers, ending of No Lifers. Probably one of the top 50, I would say, players of the game.
Damn.
Yeah. So he should come back. Yeah.
Come to Reddit.
No, it's gonna be Norway. North.
And what was
sorry.
what was his name again?
Sondre.
Okay.
In English, Sandra. I don't know.
Sounded the same.
Sandra. Yeah. Yep. So I talked to him. We got. I remember specifically 4 players who were really, really good. We still have Brillefin in North. Do you know him?
Yep.
Yeah, Britalin.
It's like no,
Brillefin.
it's English would say Brillefin.
Yep, Brillefin. Sure.
There you go. Yeah. Oh, I thought it was a T for some reason. Sorry, my bad.
That's okay. So he is really good, and I still enjoy playing with him. And we got this guy called Czar. He's still in North, actually. And let's see. Got Icolb and Sondra, of course.
Okay.
And the funny...
And
Sorry, go ahead.
So, sure. Sorry, thank you. So just one thing I also wanted to get on that you mentioned about high-ranking teams being attractive to players.
Yeah.
I'm sure in the beginning, and that was also the case for me at the time, that, as you said, the higher the team was, probably more attractive it was. So everybody would have, I guess, at some point wanted to join Reddit.
Mm-hmm.
But do you still believe that today, given how well the community knows each other and all, that the position of a team in a ranking has that much influence on somebody wanting to join that team? Or is there more to it nowadays?
Yeah, that's a good question. I really think there's a lot more to it, because now I think the community is more involved and know each other way better than ever. And honestly, when someone's gonna quit a team now, they're gonna think, hey, who do I know who's nice and who's playing for a top team? I think Marobox mentioned this in his episode. And they're gonna go to that team. I don't think that many players are gonna like look up at like the first spot and see Reddit and then go, wow, this is the team I'm gonna join. Maybe, but if they're known and are like into the community, I think they're gonna think about who they want to play with, who's also in the top team.
Yeah, and
Yeah, that's a fair
nowadays
point.
there's so many players that want to join a top team that the top teams are now doing a lot more vetting. Almost no top team is open to just join, so they're going to have to get involved in the server. They're going to have to show screenshots of scores and other things just to get a shot to play, anyways, for no other reason, to get the password, or else they can't can't just join a top team now.
No, I think they have to like prove their skills way more now than before.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, especially now with how competitive teams are, that their requirements keep going up.
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember at one point at one point there was a Spanish team called Elite España, which was at the top for a while. And I remember their description read something like only pro players, and it was like minimum requirement is 30K plus. Mm-hmm. And I mean, nowadays 30K isn't exactly fantastic, to say the least.
Yeah, that's true. That's funny, actually. Was that the team Tesla and I believe Fox played in it as well?
I know Tesla played there. I'm not sure about Fox, but yeah, Tesla was there. And then I think they were reset.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, I remember that. Sorry, go on.
So you want me to continue with the story?
Yes, sure. Of course.
I won't be naming that many names. I realize that's taking a while. But there's actually a really funny story that when I talked to Sondre about this sort of non-merge, but we were just getting there best players. I remember that some players who were good enough actually stayed back in their team because they were so well connected, you know? And this team shell is actually the team shell we're playing in now as North, with Dipsku as our leader. He was the leader back then as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's really cool. I actually stole some players from him, so that's funny.
Just openly admits it
Yeah,
without any
yeah.
regret.
They were. I don't think they were too bitter though. They're awesome guys. So I'm really lucky I got away with that one. But after we got those players, we were actually pretty strong. I believe we probably would have been a top 50 team. And we got some luck by getting some players to join us. We got a German player by the name of Zebra. He was one of the better players early game. And one day we met this other team called Active Only. They were a Canadian team with Mickey from Finland. You know him, I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. He's in Discord now, right?
Yeah, he's in this. No, he's in North right now taking a vacation.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
still
there you
being a
go.
top 7 player, of course. That's annoying.
Of course.
And yeah, so we met this team, Active Only, where Mickey and Beast Mode played. And I started talking to those two guys, just getting to know them and trying to air the idea of them coming over to No Lifers to make us even stronger. And after a while, I think No Lifers kept winning some, and Active Only were unlucky with their matches, and I think team spirit was a bit down, so they decided to join us. And we got, especially Beast Mode and Mickey, they were awesome players, and along with Super Daddy-O and Anti-Gel. And we got some really solid players who were solid all the way up to Wildlifers.
Nice. And just quick question there. As you said, a lot of times, and this is just the current ELO system and ranking system that we have, that makes it sometimes unfortunate for some teams to have a bad run of losses. I don't know. Let's say sometimes you can go 5 losses in a row for some teams, and I've seen that personally affect a team morals very badly, because obviously, I mean, nobody likes losing. I mean, let's just make it very obvious.
Yeah.
Nobody likes to lose. But at the same time, a lot of players, they get pissed off, or they want to move on to a better team because they're losing, and maybe they think that they can go in a better team. And actually, this is a question for both of you. How do you think it's the best way to handle such a situation? Because I think it happens more in the lower ranked teams. Of course, I mean, I'm sure even for your case now, a Turtle North, and even more Wildlifers, you guys never lost. And now you probably barely ever lose.
Oh, we
so
do
it's
lose.
not like you probably have 1 loss. Yeah, but you lose once and then you go on a 10
Maybe,
wins.
yeah.
And you lose to who? To like Greece or
Yeah.
Unity or Reddit. I mean, you're running from us.
Yeah. Shh, nope. That's not true. Well, yeah, I think that's pretty obvious that after 5 matches of losing, team morale's going to be down. And that's actually what happened to No Lifers, because I think probably half of the team became less and less active, and like the top of the team were pulling, what do you say, the wagon? I don't know. And we were like just pulling the whole team, top 25 probably. And we got tired of that, and I believe we really needed the merge. And I think that's something a lot of teams experience if they lose like 5 times in a row.
Yeah, I think that, I mean,
Okay, fair enough.
the matching system, it seems kind of flawed to begin with. But as far as losing to teams, I mean, if you're a 150 ranked team and you lose to the number 50 team, there's no way that you should lose, 164 trophies.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, if and even in the top matches, we just lost to Germany last week. It was down to the last hour when one of their players put up a top 3 score. They beat us, I don't know, by maybe 200 points. And, we've never beat Germany before, but we also should not have lost 167 trophies.
Yeah.
Especially because they're ranked higher.
Yeah, they were, I think, 3. So if you lose to a team that's so much better than you, if you lose to a team that has 100 ranks on you, you should only lose 10 trophies, 30 trophies, not 134, whatever the default number is.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
it will also keep
right.
them.
Yeah, I agree.
And if you're trying to increase competitiveness, I think if you're a top team, you would start trying to play more top teams to get more trophies. So if you're someone like a Finland that picks on every top team in the world, they could actually do a lot better than someone like Unity that plays a lot of weaker opponents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. And actually, it's interesting you brought up Unity because for me, they're a very interesting team. They are, for me, at the moment, they're easily top 3 and many times, in my opinion, top 1 at the moment.
They're
very
definitely top 3. Yeah.
Right? And it's funny because not so recently, I would have not even put them in the top 10, if I'm honest with you. And I think just through very smart matchmaking, and as you said, being in a top placing, I don't know, top 10, and then slowly climbing their way. Now they're second. They became, or I think this is my opinion. Maybe Ayo can tell us otherwise, but they became a very attractive team because they looked like they were strong.
Oh,
there was a time that, I don't know, what was it, 6 months ago, that they didn't feel that strong, and now I don't know anybody that wants to play them.
Oh man, I'm scared of them, especially with Razor. Razor is scary, man.
Yeah, he is. We actually, I don't know if you know this, so we played them 2 days ago. On this 27th, it is for the listeners, not to confuse them. We played them 2 days ago. Yeah,
versus
we did.
Unity.
So we were actually talking to some of their leaders because we were avoiding them at first, and matchmaking now takes 2 hours for some, and that's really boring.
Right.
Oh man.
Yeah. So we knew they were matchmaking, and I guess Beefeater suggested why not just play a match for fun, because we might actually do well. And so we played them, and I think those matches are really fun. They didn't even try, and they beat us by quite a lot. So they are so strong.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Anyways, continue with your story.
At this point, do we even know where we are?
By
the way, I'm so lost.
Sorry, I might be scrambling a bit.
No, don't. You know what? Let's get to the point.
Yeah.
Wildlifers. How did that team come to be? How does one of the strongest, if not the strongest team of all time, come to be?
I think a lot of randomness, to be honest. I'm gonna tell this how I remember it, and that is that you went to the top 3 team, I think, and you could see that they were 27, 30 players maybe. And you started wondering what's happening here? They were called Worldwide or something. And now they're down to 30 players. Are they banned? What happened? So I went on Discord and tried finding out what's going on here. And I found out they actually split with the Vereshak half of the team. And at that time, we had recruited two of Wildlifer's earlier players, Daniel and Showoff, who were Norwegians. And Daniel actually talked to me and told me what happened and said that, this team is actually quite awesome. It reminds me of No Lifers. And I think as of now, this could be one of the strongest teams out there if you actually went for a merge with those guys. And so I contacted, I think Felix was the first person I talked to. And we talked quite a lot, got to know each other, had a good tone. And then we made this leader chat with our top leaders and their top 3 leaders. And just talked. And we're considering this merge for quite some time until we agreed that it would be a good fit. And we agreed upon a lot of things. I remember that we had to know exactly how many people are going to come from No Lifers to Wildlifers, wild reptiles, and who's going to be the leader, who's going to be second in command, who's going to have those tasks, how many co-leaders are we going to have. Everything you can think of, we had planned out. So if you're a team who's wanting to merge, you definitely have to plan a lot of things before throwing yourself into it, because a merge it's dangerous. You can fail hard.
Sorry, I promise it will be the last time.
No, don't worry.
But nowadays, and this is a bit of a this is a really good subject for discussion for one day. So I'll keep it simple. But nowadays, the best and sometimes the only way to grow stronger as a team is through a merge.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Because recruiting individual talented players is just impossible, because they're either already in top teams, or as you said, they have grown in their communities to the extent where they don't want to leave. They want to play with their friends, which fair enough. I mean, it makes sense that everybody wants to do that. But I think a lot of teams are also taking advantage of that and in a way destroying smaller teams. I'm not going to call out any teams at the moment, but I'm just going to say that there are teams out there who are far bigger than other teams, and they promise smaller teams the chance to merge and to grow and I don't know what. And what starts out as, okay, just have your top 10 players join us, and then your team will become the second team, and then we'll manage both. But really, what they're doing is they're just gaining their top 10 players or their top 5, whatever it might be. And the rest are pretty much screwed because the second team doesn't get any attention. And they do this with not just one team. They do this with 2, 3, 5. I've seen a team do this with about 10 teams.
Really? Damn.
I'm telling you, man. It's insane.
That's crazy.
So I think that when we talk about mergers, we have to talk about leagues a little bit as well. And we don't know how the leagues are going to work out, but do you think there's going to be more mergers, less mergers, depending on how the leagues play out? Because from what we understand, it's going to be a little bit harder for top teams to match make the way they currently match make. So eventually you're going to hit another top team if the leagues work out the way they're going to work out. So I think we're going to see a lot more mergers in the near future.
Yeah, you might be right.
And that's going to be like the Wild West of mergers coming.
Yeah.
Oh, no, please. Actually, if that comes to be, Turtle, I call dibs on North, so you know who to call.
Yeah.
Your boy over here.
The question is, though, Juanito, is that will you be on the first team or the second team?
Look, you decide. I don't care. Just come help us. I've already been bullied enough by Razor and by Jarso and even Vicky. So at this point, I'll admit I'm a second team player.
No,
I'll take the L. Don't worry, you guys go
You've
and
had
beat
some
everyone.
pretty decent scores recently. It's awesome.
Man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I get shit talked a lot, but I'm not that bad. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not that bad. If you we have a list of rankings for the team event
Yeah, cool.
scores in the team, and to be fair to me, I
Wow.
am top 10.
Nice.
Wow.
So
Hats off.
keep talking
That's
trash.
amazing.
Consistent, yeah. I mean, the consistent high scores, they fly under the radar a little bit. So you might not be 1 or 2, but if you're 8 or 9 every time, it's not a bad spot to be.
Yeah. Take a guess. What position am I in North? No,
Don't flex. You're
no,
4.
first by far.
4.
No. Actually, I
no.
would say you're top three. Top three.
I'm like 8th.
Wow.
Yeah. Team events lately, I'm so lazy. I do not practice at all. It's not good. Poor North. Yeah, I think I'm like 7th or 8th. I'm not sure.
By the way, you say this, and then I don't know. I think the other day I saw a screenshot of your scores. Maybe it
Yep.
was against Unity, and you had something like a 48K, and you were first. And I was there like, oh yeah, this guy doesn't
Yeah,
even try.
I tried
He's
against
first.
Unity, of course. I have to do that. Me and Razor had like this beef. I think I called him. No, I changed my name to Razor is bad, or Razor is a noob, and
Oh yeah.
he changed his name to South just to mock us. And I destroyed Razor. So yeah, that was fun.
Wow.
Yep. But yeah, thanks for the match, Unity. They wrecked us. I think they 3K'd us. It was fun though.
Oh jeez.
So Hulkster, do you guys have that in USA, the team ranking within?
We do. We have actually one of our players, his name is Actuary. He's a math whiz.
He is
Not only is
insane.
he a math whiz, but he's also a time attack whiz. I mean, he can knock out, records just to say, hey, beat this record, and in under 5 minutes he's beaten it. But he has a really cool system of our rankings over the last I think it's over the last 3 to 6 months is chart number 1. The second chart is your rankings over the last 3 weeks, and he does something with standard deviations. So he has your average score, and based on where you fall in our chart is where the formula will pick you up and say, here's your score, here's your average score over the last 3 to 6 months, here is your average team rank, and based on all of these stats, here's where we expect you to go in the next event.
Wow.
So just based on your stats, it can predict your score.
No.
Based on the team's
That's insane.
average, based on everything else. So I've actually seen him show a formula of where he would expect you to fall in the next event.
Wow.
Bro, that is insane. And that's really good actually, because I think sometimes, players improve or they get worse or whatever. So especially if you've been in a team for a long time and maybe you were not scoring that well in the beginning, the score is going to be biased because maybe you're scoring top 10 nowadays and before you were, I don't know, top 50, let's say. So in the rankings, you'll be somewhere in top 30, but really in the past few months, you've been a pretty consistent player.
Right.
So this is actually
it's
really
based
good.
on, the last, and you also have players that joined in the last month or two that are going to skew the numbers a little bit, but they get normalized over a few months. So they're actually pretty accurate. So if he says, based on this, and this, I expect you to hit 35,821 points in the next event, you're usually pretty close to it.
That's not even funny.
Oh my God. That's
Well,
insane.
he got
That's
his big
actually
shout out
insane.
though. He deserves that. That's so awesome that he did
It's very
all that
cool.
work. Yeah.
He deserves it. I played with his alt account the other day, and he destroyed us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He just destroyed us.
Actuary 2. He's also a good player.
Yes. Yeah, holy crap. That's how I came to
Actually,
know
two
him.
destroyed you. Yeah. Who's your guy, Juanito, in Reddit? I know you guys have like internal competitions with that too.
Yeah, so in the past, and I feel bad for not remembering who did it in PR Reddit, because he also had something really nice where it was like your overall average
Ah,
score
yeah.
of all time, and then he had and then he had your average score over, I don't know, like the past 10 matches. And again, he would place you in a ranking, and you could sort of see your improvements and your past scores, which also nice. Nowadays, it's our
Mm,
leader Baxi. He does it, and we have two rankings. We have the event ranking, so the individual event, and then we have the overall of all
okay.
time ranking.
So
That's it.
sorry,
But it's always
did you
sorry.
say
Please go ahead.
was the first one the public event?
No, the first one is just like the individual event,
Oh,
So
oh,
like how
yeah, of
events
course.
last 6 days, I think.
Okay,
So we have a
I
ranking
see.
just for that. And then we have an overall one. But as Hulk said, sometimes it's very biased, especially towards
Yeah.
good players, because they'll play one event and they're
Right.
Oh,
instantly at
yeah,
the top.
of course. But it's also the other way around that you can't be on the top of the overall leaderboard like all time.
I mean, over time they do sort of settle down, but this one does suffer from the fact that if you've been playing for a long
Mhm.
time here, and I mean you're slowly improving, that improvement isn't necessarily
Yeah,
being
yeah.
showcased in the table because it's over such a long period of time that it's still your
Hmm.
average score of all time. So even if in the past I was doing, I don't know, 10,000 points, and nowadays I'm doing 40,000, over such a long period it's going to show like, oh, my average score is 20,000, when really the past 6 months I've been doing
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
37,000. You know what I mean? So Turtle, please just continue with your story, man, because I'm just babbling here at this point.
yeah. No problem. Okay, so I think we were at the point where I explained how extremely important the forework of a merger is. And so we decided that I would be the leader of wildlifers, and Ho Thumbs would be my second man, my right hand guy. And I think we decided upon 4 or 5 other co-leaders who would um, be in a leader group with each their separate task um, in the team. And so we merged. It went pretty well. I think we had a really good like tone from the beginning. Everybody introduced themselves, had some fun, and yeah, we started our first match, and I think we like immediately realized, okay, we're really strong. We can compete against anyone. We might not win everything, but we can compete against Reddit, which was at the time, I think, by far the best. Um, and I think some time went on, and the mercenary ban wave happened. And I think Reddit was banned. They were the only banned team above us. Correct me if I'm wrong here.
No, that's correct. That's correct, sadly.
Sorry to bring it up.
It's okay.
And I think Germany was the only team above us at this point. And they were, I think, 300, 400 points ahead, which meant that if we tracked them down and won once or twice, we would get past them. And so that quickly became our goal. And so we just kept playing and kept tracking other teams, and kept on recruiting, because we were a top team now and people wanted to join us. And I was the person in charge of recruiting, I would say. I would actively try to seek out single or 2 players who played on teams below top 50 and try to recruit those guys and make them become like even better. And while doing that, we just became better and better. got some big names. And yeah, we actually managed to catch Germany and played them and won and became the #1 team. That was really fun. I remember that. We all had such a great time at the end there. I almost cried.
And you'd be surprised. I think a lot of the community actually celebrated that as well, because I don't think anybody thought poorly of wildlifers.
No,
I think everybody.
Sorry.
Please go
No,
ahead. Go
I
ahead. Don't
keep
worry.
interrupting. But yeah, I remember that I got like tons of messages just congratulating and wow, this is awesome. And yeah, a lot from you guys too, Juanito, which I appreciate it a lot. And yeah, so that was awesome, becoming the #1. And from there, we just kept on going, I guess. I think we had some really big recruits, which made us stronger. I specifically remember that I had been in touch with the Swedish guys, Mr. Beefeater and the gang. And he knew that I thought they were really good. And I think at this point they were top 30 maybe. And they had like 7 guys who just kept on scoring world class scores. And we were drooling after those guys. I kept on sending the screenshots in leader chat, and you would get all these drooling emojis. And that was like such a big recruitment for us when they decided they wanted to try like the top of the game. And I think they were 6 players or 5 who came to us. And at that point, I would say we were like at our prime, just being way too strong. It was not even funny. I would end up at like a top 20 spot when I scored a good score.
Bro, you don't even understand. Like wildlifers, and at least I'm gonna tell it from my point of view as a Reddit player. You guys were absolutely effing scary. It's not even funny. Like we did everything in our position to be like, okay, guys, are we ready to play them? No, we're not. Avoid them. Okay, are we ready to play them? No, avoid them. So unfortunately, we never got to play.
Yeah, didn't we? Because my memory is
too strong.
We did not play. Okay.
No. I would have remembered.
Okay.
Trust me.
I would not have remembered. But yeah, that's cool to hear. I'm glad we scared off the big guys, which were you at the time. And we actually hunted you. I don't know if you know that one.
Yeah, of course. Remember, I came back to you. I was like, bro, did you just
yeah.
Like the audacity. Did you just?
Yeah, I remember that. That was one of the like bad sides of being the leader, because we really wanted to test our strength against the other big teams. But I had friends in every team. Like Discord, I was talking a lot with Notch. I had a great connection with him. Unity, I have Razor. He's a great guy. Yarso in Finland. So I think just sniping like a friend is like kind of a stab in the back. I don't know, but we really wanted to play.
Yeah, of course. By the way, at that point, once you reached that spot and you were literally the strongest team in the world, did you have any? Do you remember any of the toughest matches you played, like victories that made you go, "Yes, we did it"?
I have one, and I think everybody in the community celebrated and would understand why this is my favorite match by far, and it is Great Russia. We crushed them, and it was so fun because I think they had been reset twice at that point. And I remember they beat Discord in a couple of events, and we just saw the scores, and they were crazy. And I think everybody realized, okay, they're back at cheating. And
no, what?
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I guess they were. So I'm sort of right. Some of them were at least. And yeah, so we beat Russia with 3,000, and that was by far the best. Maybe even better than beating Germany and becoming #1. So it was really fun. I had like this really big rivalry against nobody, Vasa. I don't know. This is a fun story. I actually tried recruiting him to Wildlifers before knowing that he was this guy who had been banned so many times, and I just thought he was this really good Russian guy. So I actually tried recruiting him to Wildlifers. That's not good. But yeah, that was so fun.
You were in the top spot for how long until the big reset?
I think we were 4 or 5 months, #1. Maybe, yeah, closer to 4 probably.
Oh, it was short-lived.
Yeah, it was. It was, I guess. 4 months that went by really fast, but we had a great time. Yeah,
of course. And I think we're getting to the big topic that everybody wants to hear, Hulk. So, what do you say? Do you think it's time to put Turtle in the hot
time.
seat?
I know that we probably have people that are fast forwarding, trying to figure out at what point in time does Turtle talk about the reset. So yeah, let's get to it.
Go ahead, man. It's your turn.
Yeah, so you were #1 for about 4 or 5 months, and then I think we have to bring up the original Fair Play server and the craziness that happened on that, and then so just walk us through from your point of view what happened.
Okay, well, I need to take a deep breath there because that was
take a sip of water. Take a sip of water. Take a
That was a crazy time. Like literally, you don't understand. I have never had that much pressure on me as a person before, and this was like over the internet, and I didn't think that was possible to be so affected by something like that. But yeah, wow. So what happened first was that let's see. I think it was AIM. What do you say?
AYM.
Probably. AYM. Okay. So AYM, he brought up this screenshot, I believe. Please correct me if I'm wrong, because this is like a touchy subject, and I do not want to be dragging anyone down here.
No, just
honestly,
freely.
I'm not sure if it was AYM. It might have been even Levy, or I don't know. Honestly, somebody brought up a screenshot. Go on.
The screenshot had my right hand, my good friend Hotham's, saying that he shared accounts on the previous team called Chimera. So the proof that was shown was that he, in some tough matches, logged onto what I believe to be 5 or 6 of the Croatian accounts and just scoring really high, because Hotham's honestly is one of the greatest players of all time. And so they used that, which is clearly cheating and not okay. And they won some games, some really tough games, and I believe one against Russia. I don't know if they won that one, and actually against Unity, which, like, personally I thought was the worst, because that's a team like struggling to become one of the top teams, and for a cheater to ruin that really sucks. So yeah,
are you still in contact with him at all?
Yeah, I actually talk to him sometimes. I think I talked to him a week ago. Just we like wished each other a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, so we're still friends, and like he admits that he was really wrong, and he really regrets what he did, and I think that's important to know about about Hotham's.
So let me
That he,
interject really quickly. So for people listening that don't know what that even means, what Hotham's did was
oh yeah,
Wildlifers was in the number one position. Hotham's was a co-lead on Wildlifers, top scorer
yep,
in the game,
hmm
and he would log in as Croatians on around the number 15 or 20 team, I think Chimera or
yeah,
Chimera was. So
around
he
there.
would log in as 5 or 6 Croatians on Chimera and score really high for them. And not in
Yeah,
every match, just in the matches where Chimera was playing against another top team like Russia, like Unity. Um, so his goal wasn't to help Chimera be a top 10 team. His goal was to help Wildlifers by beating their competition from a lower team. So they would lose more trophies.
Oh, interesting.
like
Actually, I never
yeah. To be
thought of it
honest,
that way.
I'm not sure that's the case though. And
Okay.
I want to be like a little,
That's my vantage point from the outside.
yeah. So that might be
And
honestly.
by the way, and just to also make it clear for everybody else, at no point did Ho Thumbs play for anybody inside of Wildlifers,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah. Thanks for bringing that up. And not to my
Because that's
knowledge. I want to
important as
say
well.
not to my knowledge, because as a leader, you think the best of your members, but you do not have 100% certainty that they're abiding to the rules. So I actually do not think he played for other players, and I
And
really hope he
here's
didn't.
Okay.
and here's another question, and this is just getting both of your opinions. We have, so we're both moderators on a Fair Play server, and we send reports to Fingersoft, and we
hmm
have what appears to be like Discord screenshots and conversations, and we submit the report
hmm
of, some players say that, oh, I did this, I did this. And we don't even know if Fingersoft takes Discord screenshots seriously because you can change
Yeah.
your name at any point in time. So I'm wondering if Fingersoft just saw the pitchforks from everyone in a
Yeah.
situation like that, or if, I'm sure they didn't call Hothams and say, "Hey, did you cheat?" And he said, "Sure did."
Well, Hulk, remember also what Reese said. It didn't matter. I don't think it was the case. I don't know exactly what Fingersoft did, but remember what Reese said about no matter how much a team gets reported, like that's not going to be a reason for anybody to be banned or reset. So probably they did their own investigation. I have no idea what they found, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
But that's something that also has to be clear. Like, it doesn't matter how much the community thinks the team is cheating and reports them, and it becomes this wildfire that everybody's talking about. Like, Fingersoft and even someone like Reese isn't even aware of us talking about this because they're not that
hmm
involved in the community. So, again, I don't know exactly what Hawthorne's did. Again, this is only based on what the things I've seen. But something that you said, Hulk, about screenshots getting shared around, I think it's important we address this because um, obviously this is stuff that gets shared around as proof. And I'm not going to be an idiot because it's true, but most of the time they are real. But also a lot of the times, there are people who have malicious intent. And whatever their reason might be for doing it, there's people out there creating, as you said, fake names with fake pictures, with fake accounts, going to the extent of creating fake servers to create fake conversations and create fake screenshots as proof of a team or somebody cheating. And that's
Yeah.
Right.
just not
So we
Stop
okay.
it
don't know
right
what
away.
Fingersoft does. Maybe they look at those screenshots and they say, "Hey, let's dig in to the team and see what we can find." I've heard, account sharing is hard to find, but maybe they have a way of maybe they had a way of finding it. Who knows? But so Wildlifers got reset, but nobody got banned. Is that correct?
Whole thumbs got banned.
Hozon's got banned. Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
There was another player that got
No, I
banned,
think
wasn't
many
there?
believe that maybe it was Dazil, because he was
No,
like
no,
on the
no, no. Of
team
course
show.
not.
Okay. I don't know.
No, but I'm sure there was another player.
Really,
There was a second player that was banned.
like honestly, I do not know. Um,
Anyways, it's not important. I think the main the main guy was
yeah, definitely.
Hawthorns. Hawthorns.
Yeah, I think maybe like right after the reset, some people stayed in the wildlife for shell, so it might have looked like a player got banned. I'm not sure though. Um,
Sure. And just
yep.
before we continue, I also want to ask you something because there's two obvious perspectives here. It's
Hmm.
Hulks and I, which is from outside wildlifers and just as bystanders, because we came to know this as third
Yep.
parties, and then yourself inside
Hmm.
wildlifers. So I want to share my experience and my thoughts, and then I want you to also, because I think it's important that people get to know your
Yeah.
side of the story. Because I mean, I know a little bit
Yep.
more because we talked, but I think people are very quick to
They
just
are.
jump
Yep.
on you and judge you and say mean things, which it's
Yeah,
Yep.
shouldn't be
I
allowed
also have a
either.
really good follow-up question whenever you're done.
Sure, no worries. So again, as you said, these screenshots came up on the Fair Play server. Most people, as always, they're gonna jump on the top team in the world and say, yeah, this is proof, kick this player or get banned or get reset. I think thankfully on this server it was only leaders allowed at the time, so it was I'm gonna say a bit more peaceful.
I don't know.
But let's be honest, yeah, it had it. It has its own few players out there who are a little bit outspoken, and there was a lot of pressure. I think the pressure was more on, no, don't reset wildlifers, but rather people pressuring you to take action and kick
Yep.
whole thumbs. And from my perspective, at least, at first I didn't understand why you didn't
Hmm.
take that action because I didn't know the story. So for me, it was like, bro, this is so clear to you. Like, why are you just standing by and allowing this? By the way, ironic after everything that's happened recently, also in the Fair Play server.
Right.
Anyways,
Different
and
podcast, right?
different podcast. And sorry, I lost my train of thought quickly. Okay, I'm back. And then of course, I spoke to you, and as you've just explained as well, like Ho Thumbs was or is a close friend of yours, and he's your second-hand man in the team. And goes to anybody. Like you're gonna want to. Your inclination is gonna be to believe the person in your team. So, and it's not like you can take action immediately. Like you're gonna do your own investigation and stuff. And it was a little bit confusing, I want to say, the first time you did your own investigation and then you came forward and you said, I'm not going to quote because I can't remember exactly, but I'm just going to say along the lines, and then you can correct me if I'm
Yep.
wrong at any stage. But I think you said something along the lines of, we've done our own investigation. Hot Thumbs says he hasn't done any of this. We believe him and he's staying in the team, and that's the end of it. If we get reset, we get
Sure.
reset. If we
Can
don't,
I
we can
comment?
leave it.
So
Please,
I
of
don't
course.
remember, of course. I do remember that the leader channels in wildlifers, I can tell you, it was just a lot of disagreements. And I remember when posting that, I really don't hope that I denied it. I want to believe that I didn't.
I think what you said was something. I'm going based on memory too. It was something like, we believe in second chances or something like that.
Yeah, more like that. Yeah, I think that was
Oh,
it.
yes. Yeah, correct. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think, and if I actually did write that he didn't cheat, I'm so sorry, and I think that that would be way wrong of me because I did know he cheated and I was really mad at him. and we were all like frustrated and didn't understand why he did it. But like ultimately, we chose to give him a second chance, and that's what I remember from like that post.
Right. So on the Fair Play server, when the screenshots started to be shared and the pitchforks came out,
Yeah.
you were replying here and there at first, and then you said, "I'm going to take some time off to figure this out." And you came back, I think, a day later with that, we believe in second chances and this and that. So what happened, like, inside the Wildlifers server? Walk
Yeah.
us through who said what,
Oh,
and
that's
like,
interesting.
not necessarily the names, but did the leaders of Wildlifers say, "Did you cheat?" Did he say right away, "Yes, I did," or did he say, "No, it wasn't me, it was somebody else"? Like, walk us through.
Yeah.
Did you question him? He said, "Of course I cheated. There's screenshots," and
Yeah.
just let us know what came to that decision.
Yeah. So what I remember is that I immediately, after I saw that screenshot, I sent it to Benji. I'm sure you know him. He's in DC now.
Yep.
Saying,
Yeah.
okay, dude, this just happened. I think Wildlifers is done. And I really meant that, because Hotham's is, I don't think any outsiders would know this, but he is such an important like part of Wildlifers. Like the reptile half that I was talking about earlier, he was like a god to them. They really liked him, and as time went by, I like really started to like him as well. And I remember that I thought immediately that, okay, this just can't be true. And the more we talked about it in the Fair Play server, I was more and more convinced, okay, this did happen. I can't like continue lying to myself. I have to post this in the Wildlifers leader group and talk to Hotums about this, what happened. And at that time, I believe that he was a bit AWOL. I think he had gotten a ton of pressure himself. I do not think he was on the Fair Play server. I think I was the only one at the team.
No.
And I think he realized, okay, I might be busted here. And when he came back, I remember that he tried to like play it down. Like, guys, I didn't do anything bad. Nothing was done inside Wildlifers. We're safe. And it was, I remember I got so like frustrated at this reply, because sure, you didn't cheat inside Wildlifers, but what you did like puts us all in a really bad light. And I think you need to admit what you did, and like tell us here in the leader channel. And I think all other leaders of that team at that time were on the same side, just asking, okay, just please be honest with us at least, and we will further discuss what to do. And he was so hesitant, and it was really frustrating. And because I was getting so much pressure in the Fair Play server, like while talking about this inside the team.
So
Yeah.
Turtle, just quickly,
Yep.
as much as you got pressure, did you
Yeah,
also
I
get any
did.
support?
Yeah. So a lot of like were you one of the guys who sent me a message? I don't remember. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
did.
think, and that was so important to me at the time, because I got not many, but a few messages from like the closest of other players on that server. Just saying, dude, just take your time. Don't listen to all the rants. You're a good guy, and yeah, just take your time, and you'll make the right decision. And that was amazing of you guys. You know who you are, so thank you. So I did get some support, but mostly I got a lot of ranting on the Fair Play server, and I actually made the mistake to try and answer everyone, which just made me like really frustrated back. And I believe at some point I actually got toxic, which I believe I'm not a toxic guy at all. And yeah,
Hashtag
Juan,
me too.
oh, poor guy. Oh man. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh man.
Yeah, so like at that point,
Yeah.
I got really mad back, and I do not like myself when I'm like that, but it was hard not to, you know. So where was I? Yeah, inside the team. I think things looked pretty normal for like the rest of the players. I don't think they're very much, or at least were involved in like these sort of servers. They were just in our server because it was this sort of bubble where we played and talked to each other. And yeah, so we got Hothams. We had kind of had to pull like the information out of him. At first, I think he said, "Yeah, I did this in a couple of matches," and explained that yeah, Russia was one of the teams, and they are cheating, so it's fine that we cheat. You know, which it's bad, but not as bad as cheating against a legit team. And I think everybody just understood that he was holding back, sort of. And at a point, I think we got most of the information and just understood what he had done. And I think we all thought it was bad, but we kind of reacted differently. And I personally have to admit that I was one of the guys who did not know what to do. And like right now, it's easy to look back and say, I would have kicked him, because that for the Wildlifers team is the only thing you could do to stay 100% clean and still be respected by the community.
Right.
Yeah, but at that time, yeah.
By the way, did you do when it came to the point of taking the decision, and then obviously you told the rest of the community what you did did it become a thing of the leaders voted on what to do, or did you just take the
Yeah,
final
so what
decision
happened
in the
is
end?
that we got some information from Hothams, and we told him, okay, you need to be straight with our team. Our members deserve to know what happened and make their own decisions. And so I remember, I don't want to be talking too mean about Hothams, but I was really like disappointed at him at this time, and I'm sure you can understand, and I know he understands that too. That he wrote this message that was so vague, just saying, "Guys, I made a mistake. I'm sorry." I don't know how much depth he went into, but I think he mentioned that he helped Chimera beat Russia or something. It was really vague. And I was just reading that and shaking my head and going, wow, okay, this is so wrong. He like at that point, I think he actually tried to like keep on playing and being clear of this cheating. And so like the players did as you would expect. Some were like mad and saying, okay, I'm not fine with this. I'm gonna leave. So I think one leader left, which I actually respected a lot. It's Yaba. He's still in my team, one of my closest friends. And I remember player Singo. I'm sure you know him. He's an incredible player from
Yep.
North right now. Also just I really thought that was cool. He went straight at Holton's throat and was like, dude, you need to be real. You need to explain exactly what happened. And then the conversation was like building, and I think everybody at one point understood that, okay, this is kind of big. And at this point, I remember, of course, the pressure from Fair Play server. And at the same time, I don't know what happened in my head, but I think I just really valued Hothams, and I felt really like bad for him. And because he was really far down, at that point, and I talked a lot to him in private as well, and I expressed to him that I was disappointed, of course, and he actually many times offered to leave the team, which now I see we should have done. That would have been like the easiest solution. No hurt feelings, I guess. But I kind of like wanted to take a stance on people getting maybe personal. And like against Hothams, it was
Yes.
so bad. He got so much like crap that he deserved some of it, but not everything. And I wanted to show my support, I guess, and that ended up with giving him a second chance, which was discussed in the leader channels and also some in the member channels. And I think most of the team saw that giving him a second chance was nice, but I think most of the team like kind of disagreed slightly. And if we were not getting reset, I think wildlifers were ultimately gonna fall apart because of that decision.
Now, what did he say was the reason he did it? I mean, I'm sure someone asked, like, why did you do this?
Wow, I don't think we did. I think he explained that against Russia, he thought that it would be okay, and that's why he did it then. I do not think he did it. He explained why he did it against other teams. So, like, as you're saying that wildlifers that he did it to make sure wildlifers was number one, and I'm not entirely sure about that. I actually think that we were quite high on the rankings and had a really strong team, and that we wouldn't have much of a problem staying number one. But I actually do not know. Maybe he did.
Yeah, so maybe he was just helping out his, Croatian friends, and
Yeah, that's what I think. Really.
but I guess, internally that's a whole different story when, they're putting up 25, 30K scores, and then in the big matches they're 37, 38K.
Yeah.
So that looked suspicious internally for them.
Yep. And it was suspicious. They were right, I guess.
And also something that I think it's nice, and I want to get the opinion of both of you as well, because I'm gonna give mine about second chances to cheaters. Because I'm gonna be honest, I do think some people deserve second chances. I think your attitude is the determining factor in whether you should deserve a second chance or not. I think, I mean, based on what you told me about the whole thumbs, it's not easy to just come forward and admit that you did this and did that. So in a way, it did, for me, it seems like he regretted it, and he was ready to, I guess, admit it, come forward, say it, get punished, and then continue in the proper way that everybody else should be doing. But to be honest, at the same time, I believe only in second chances. I don't believe in third, fourth, fifth chances. No, none of that. Because I don't know if you know this, Turtle, but recently we found out that Hot Thumbs had bought he bought an account, and he was playing under some other name, which...
Yeah, I actually... I knew that he had a second account. I want to make that clear, but I didn't know it was... Oh no!
Ban!
I've started it. I didn't know that it was bought, and I don't know if he cheated on it or not. But if he got banned, I'm sure there were
it doesn't matter, does it?
Fouls.
No, well,
so here's a
question. I mean, it's that simple
for both of you guys as well. So he bought this account, and say that he changed his name to not Hothums or something, and joined a top team. In terms of what in the standard procedure, Fingersoft would ban that one player. The team would be fine. Everyone goes on their merry way. Now, what do you think a leader should do if in a team chat or some other chat, he said, "Hey guys, I bought this account. It's me. I'm back. Let's kick some butt." And
Yeah.
the leader knew about it. Now,
Yeah.
what do you think should be done, and what do you think you would do as a leader?
Yeah. I don't mean to sound like a hypocrite, but you have to kick him, You need to talk to him and explain that this is against the rules. You're putting the team at risk, and you need to kick him because you might get reset.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, I think that at this point in time, there's so many players that get banned for whatever reason.
Yeah.
If the team's at risk, you have to do what you have to do.
Yeah, of course. And as a leader,
I agree.
I can honestly say that it's really hard to know if a player is cheating. You can do background checks. I guess you can report them. You can ask them to show their GP and their total distance, but further than that, you have no idea who this person is, and it's so hard to know. I'm sure. I don't know if USA has experienced this, but I'm sure Reddit has that. A player you don't know that well comes in the team, and it turns out he actually did something in the past that was not allowed. It's so hard to know,
Right. And I know that if I don't say this, I'm going to get a little bit of trouble for it. But to my knowledge, there's never been a banned player on the USA team. Never.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's awesome, though. Congrats. I think Sisu Finland also has that 0 ban stat. That's credit to those teams. Yeah.
Probably.
Definitely.
But Vicky should get reset. He's a cheater. By the way, this is a joke. Nobody go and report.
Need to be careful.
So should we get to? Oh, we've got a lot of questions. Should we get to the community questions?
Do you guys feel like I answered the reset okay? I know I'm rambling a lot, but I think that was my point. And I can tell you now that, of course, I regret letting him stay. And I think we lost a lot of rep. And I think I personally lost a lot of reputation. But yeah,
I think that's unfair.
Sure.
Wait, let me say something quickly. I think that's really unfair because, as you said, and I'm only saying this because I feel like I'm currently in that position. But for you to get bad rep for what, I mean, you can look at it from two different positions. Okay, at first you didn't take the right decision. You wanted to trust your friend. You didn't do anything about it, and then you got reset. And somebody might look at that as, he is acknowledging somebody is cheating and he's accepting it, therefore he's supporting it.
Right.
That's not how things work. Don't be an idiot. And no, really, it really pisses me off because people use this as a double-edged sword where they twist their logic to make it sound as they wish it, and then they basically brainwash everyone else to believe this is exactly as it is. And I'm only bringing this up because I mean, I don't know how much you want to tell Turtle, so I'll leave it up to you. But it really pissed me off the state in which you got, because this is a game. Doesn't matter what happens within it at the end of the day. This is a game, and we'll have our own lives outside of it. And as serious as we take it because we're a community and because we enjoy the game and we like it and we want to make it as good as possible, it's still and it's still a game. It's that simple. You know what I mean? Nobody's getting hurt over anything going on in this game, but people are getting hurt over the stuff being
so a
said
lot
to
of
other
people actually came with personal attacks to me, and I remember that was actually a big add-on on all the pressure, and now I can easily speak about it and it's okay, but you really need to be careful about what you say to people. And if people personally attack you, to all you listeners, you just go ahead and block them right away because it's not worth trying to like get back at them or explain things. If you know they're toxic, just block them out, and you'll get along much better like that.
True.
Yeah, I agree. I think I fell exactly into that same trap recently of
Yeah.
having to respond to every single idiot and then try and reason with them, which is
You will
impossible
get
when
really
someone is
tired
so
of
ignorant.
like typing 24/7.
Man, the typing isn't even the issue. It's the mental,
Yep.
emotional state you get into. It's just you shouldn't have to get to a point where you go to bed and you can't sleep, you can't
Yeah.
think. You're always in a bad mood because of a bunch of kids, or in this case, adults
Right.
Yep.
acting like kids.
You're
So-
completely right.
It's
It's really
the
not
first question
right.
that I wanted to get to is actually really relevant. This is a teammate of mine, actually. His name is Murica, number 9951. His question is, do you think wildlifers would have escaped being reset by Fingersoft if you had removed her thumbs after his account sharing was brought to light? And would you
Mhm.
still be intact as a team today with you as the leader if that were the case?
Oh, wow, that's a fun question. I really like to think like hypothetically about things if they were different, then what would have happened. And yeah, I honestly believe that wildlifers, if we had removed Ho Thumbs right away and like expressed we're sorry he cheated, and we've removed him, I think we wouldn't have been reset, because I think Ho Thumbs was the only reason we did get reset.
Do you think that the community had anything to do with the reset, or do you think it was something that Fingersoft found? Because it always feels
Yeah.
like these fair play servers have some sort of influence when
Yeah, I know.
when everyone goes
I
on
have
the
no
attack.
idea. I think like sometimes I think that me posting that message about, okay, we made a mistake, we're gonna give him a second chance.
That was it.
He did cheat. That might have been what led to, okay, like the leader of wildlifers is allowing a cheater in their team. That is reason enough to reset, but I do not know. But honestly, I can tell you that when we got reset, I thought to myself, okay, this was actually deserved, and I took like a deep breath and I was relieved. It was really weird. I actually got like everything out, and I was like, oh wow, that was so right. We deserved that, and finally I can relax.
Now you can just play the game again.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And this is just a joke, but do you think Reese was behind all this because of the
No,
video you made about him?
I don't think he even knows who I am, like, to be honest. I think he saw the video and he laughed, and is he? Yeah, hi, Reese.
I mean, he's gonna listen to this.
But I don't think he was like behind it. And oh wow, this turtle guy, he made a mocking video of me.
Of course.
And banned us. No.
Okay,
Yeah.
and just following up on the question Hulk did, this is from VGE number 3149er, and he wants to ask, why did wildlifers not rebuild after the 0?
Yeah.
When only one player got banned?
Well, as I said, when we got banned, I was really relieved. I had been in this like state of having to answer everyone all the time on Discord, and that was so like time and energy consuming, you have no idea. And at the point when we got reset, I was like happy, and I thought to myself, okay, this is a perfect time for me to take a break. And I remember that I wrote this long speech on the Wildlifer server, just thanking everyone for like this great time. We honestly had so much fun. We made some really good friends, and what happened. It was deserved. Some maybe think it wasn't, but honestly, it was deserved. And at that point, I took a break from the game. I didn't even try to rebuild or like keep wildlifers alive. I remember Brillefin, actually. I mentioned him earlier. He wanted to try to keep it going. And a lot of people thought, of course, we're going to keep it going. We love playing here. But I think many players just didn't feel it and didn't feel this, like, I don't know, family spirit anymore. Yeah, it was completely,
The same
it wasn't
vibe wasn't
completely
there.
gone, but it was, people were down. And so, like, the ball started rolling, and a lot of our better players left for other top teams. So Brillefin actually decided to come to North and give up the Wild Legacy, which was called, team.
Mm-hmm.
And from there on, I think they merged with GCH, I think they're called. And some people came to North, and some people went their way. But honestly, I've been thinking about, like, what would have happened if I tried to rebuild the team again, which was the question, right?
Right.
Damn, sorry, I keep like getting off track. But
Don't worry.
I think if I really was motivated, I think I could have brought back wildlifers. But to be honest, I'm just not motivated. Being a leader is so much work, and it takes like so much time, probably 3 to 4 hours per day on Discord, and that's not something I want to do.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So this is probably related to the video, and I don't even know if I saw the video. It was the Reese video that you made. I'll have to go back and see it.
I saw it.
Yeah.
But this is from HoloLife 8206. He
Hello.
said, and I'm not even sure if you listened to the Reese podcast, but he said, after listening to the Reese podcast, do you have a different outlook on Reese? What are the things that you like and dislike, and your overall opinion of him?
Oh, wow. Okay, so for those who do not know, I didn't make it. I was sent a video of Reese, and I published it. And the author was kept anonymous. But at one point I made so many rants on the game suggestion channel that I was banned from the server.
No comment.
Yeah, Hulk, I saw you there as well. Yeah, I think me and Hulk actually agreed on everything. That was funny. But yeah, I think I posted a bit too much, and at one point I complained about the support, that they kept on sending copy pastes, and I guess I got banned because I kept on asking why they banned some legit players, which was kind of worrying at the time. And I remember when I got banned, the Wildlifers players got my back, and came onto the server just starting to rant. Why the heck did you kick Kurt Turtle? He was just speaking his mind and his opinion. And they all got banned too. And that's where the famous Reese comment, "I can ban you within 3 seconds and 2 clicks," or whatever, came. And I remember I've been so mad at Reese. I've just had this low opinion of him, and I do not like having low opinions of people. But when listening to the podcast, I was shocked. I realized he does not at that point, I thought he was just really against me and wildlifers. I don't think he ever meant to, how can I put this right? I don't think he meant to be unfair. I think he's a server manager who takes his job seriously, and when all these wildlifers guys are coming and complaining and just ranting, I think the job was easy, and he just chose to kick them. Yeah. Honestly, I was surprised he was this normal, cool guy. So
heard
that
that, but we've
episode
heard
did,
that a lot.
yeah. So him coming on, I think that was really cool.
I agree.
That's nice. Honestly,
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that was the whole point of that whole podcast. So if you changed your mind,
yeah.
then
And Riz, you
hopefully
should
other people
unban me
also change
from
their
the
mind.
FS server. I'm sorry. I'll delete the video. Yeah, I'll promise
You
to
heard
be
it here
nice.
first, Reese. You can do it. um, well, Hulk, I kind of want to
Yes,
ask
go for it.
Turtle some funny questions. Yeah. Okay. So this is
Okay.
from
Oh no.
a fellow
Oh no.
friend, Jarso.
Okay, go ahead.
He wants to ask you, how do you have time to play Hill Climb Racing 2 with girls all over you by how good looking you are? Or are all the Norwegians just descended from Thor and it's not so special there?
Oh boy. Okay, you're so. Well, that's a good question. I'm gonna answer that with a question back, I guess. Is that how do I get time for girls when I play hill climb racing so much? Yeah, I'm way too addicted. It's not even funny. But yeah, Norwegian people are good looking, and I
Yes,
think
they are.
the girls are better even. So we're lucky, and we're I don't think we're descended from Thor though. But that's nice. I think Morobux is a better good looking. He's like the hill climb racing to George Clooney or whatever. And he's French. I mean, did you hear his accent? Wow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. He's the whole package, girls. But yeah, thanks, Yarso. I didn't know he had a man crush on me, so that's cool.
Well, now
Oh,
you're gonna
wow.
have more
That's my dream.
man crushes on you.
So yeah, all the guys listening out there, just feel free to DM Turtle.
Yep,
He's ready.
I am.
And this is from this question is from Mickey. You've
Oh
accomplished
no.
you've accomplished everything in this game. Maxed Garage, world champion as a team leader, a lot of world records. Why do you still play, boy?
Mickey. Okay, yeah. Uh, yeah, maybe I should quit. It's about time. I don't know. I'm addicted. That's the one and only answer I can give. And I'm way too connected with like the some of the community.
I agree. I
That's my
think
answer.
that yeah, this game is it's a lot of fun and it takes a lot of time, but we spend a lot of time on Discord and a lot of time
Yeah.
chatting and throwing a few tickets here and there is kind of
Yeah.
how it goes.
Yeah, of course. I'm sure like in the USA you have a really good Discord. You guys are connecting over everything and Reddit too. So I'm sure you
Right.
guys know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
Yeah, and I guess Mickey as well is one of the reasons I keep playing. He's this really good guy. Hilarious. I don't know if you've talked to him. He does, yeah, and a wife.
Yeah, he has
I don't
multiple
know. I can't
girlfriends.
keep
That's all I
track.
know.
He's got it. That's all I know.
Um, this one is also from a fellow friend and teammate, actually.
Single.
Tell me if
Yeah.
I'm saying his name wrong, but it's Singo. Yeah, okay. So Singo wants to ask you. So, question for Turtle. Who is the best team event player? Turtle versus Beef Eater?
Yeah.
And please
Yeah, me
describe
and
how that
Beef Eater.
friendly
He's probably
rivalry
my
started.
biggest rival. It's a friendly rivalry, I'm sure you can understand. But of course, he's Swedish, and like Swedes, Norwegians, we don't like Swedes. And of course, that's a joke. We like Swedes, but there's like always been this rivalry, Norwegian and Swedes. And I remember seeing him score really high when I was the leader of Wildlifers. I talked about us all drooling over these Swedish awesome players. And when we recruited him, I think like every match, if we like passed each other, we would send each other like a crap ton of hate messages and just having a lot of fun with it. And it just like yeah, just kept on going like that. But who's the better? I have no idea. I think he's more consistent and better that way. But maybe if I really, really want to score high on something, I guess I have more blue tickets than him and can score better. Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, there you go. I didn't
Oh
think you
yeah,
would
I don't
admit
think
to
I'm
someone
top
being better than
50.
you.
There's so many good players.
What? Come on, you guys. You and Morbox are too damn humble, man. If I had your skill, I would be like, yo,
Yeah,
I am
no,
the best.
I
You all
honestly think
suck.
that. Like, especially lately, I've been so lazy. I don't practice the time events. Like, if you look back on what time events we have had on team events, you won't find my name in the top 2000. I just drive like a couple of times, and yeah, I'm really lazy.
I think it would be
No.
pretty cool if
And get 10K.
Fingersoft
That's
came
it,
out
yeah.
with a separate leaderboard, like for team events, like individual top scores,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
top 100 scores from any team. So you could be on a
yeah.
team ranked 5,000, and if you put up a 49K, you get
Oh,
your
that
name on
would
this
be
leaderboard
nice.
and kind of like a separate. I think that'd be really cool.
That's such a good idea.
Could
Maybe.
be a
Yeah, that's
It could be
true.
a
We could send
community
like
effort.
everyone's top
Hint,
scores
hint.
and make. So if anyone wants to do that who's listening, it's a really good idea.
Yeah, agreed.
Yep.
Hit me up and
If you want to
we'll get you on the
become famous,
podcast.
do it.
All right. So just before we begin to wrap up this episode, I have a very exciting question that we always ask all of our guests.
Mhm.
So I wanted to ask you, Turtle, in your opinion, and with an explanation as always, who are your top 3 team event players in the game?
Oh, that's hard. I think there are so many good players, and I think I'm gonna agree with Morobox probably and say like my 4 is Liu, and then there's Vereshek, and there is Cans into Space, and the last one is Daziel for me.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So I think that's a top 4 though, but I think those 4 players are probably like the next level players that I know of. But I have a lot of players who like would make it into a top 50. I actually considered making a video about like who would be the top 50 players in like the dream team ever.
I was just
And
gonna say you were gonna
yeah,
do that. Like, I'm
yeah,
still waiting for this video, man.
yeah, it was so hard because like at the point where you get to 50, you like realize, okay, there's way more good players, and I think it went up to like top 70 and I could not cram it down. Because I think like as a leader of the number 1 team, I had the chance to see or track, I guess, players and how good they were. And so I know like a lot of names, even though they're from unknown teams. I can tell you like Neo. Do you know this guy from España M13 or something?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah, like Neo. I don't think many people know him, but he's like really, really
He's
good.
a beast.
Yeah, he is. I think he would be probably a top 10 player, honestly. And so I think it's hard to make a top list of players. And like suddenly you see like the match against Unity and Sisu where Kersey and ISOP, who else? Was it Hensu that made 40K? I think they had 4 40Ks. And
Yeah, I
these,
can't remember who else.
yeah, so, and they're like, they wouldn't be on my top 4 list, but there are so many options to choose from when talking about who's good.
Yeah, that's a good point. And actually, and I just came up with this, by the way, so bear in mind. And I'm going to start asking this to future guests, but I think this is a good one. If you could choose 3 players who you have never played with, but you would like to play with, who would they be?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay. Honestly, I think Notch from Discord. He is always scoring high. I think Discord has this like table that we talked about and leaderboards internally, and Notch is on the top in Discord. Big shout out to him. He's always scoring like high above average, so he would be fun, and he's a good friend. Yarso. Actually, I've played with him. He was in North on vacation.
So it doesn't count.
No,
Pick
I
another
guess
one.
not. Marobox, I think. We've had our ups and downs, but we're friends, and he's such a beast. He always scores high, and I would love to compete against him. And lastly, probably I think Cans into Space would be very fun to play along with. He comes
I
up
agree.
with all these brilliant ideas, and I think just playing with him and getting his ideas would take like myself to a higher level, and that would be fun.
Just seeing his thought process, like you're in the track and he's thinking, well, I could probably use dirt bike and do this and like
I could probably wheelie with a hot rod. I mean, who
yeah.
would have
Oh yeah,
thought of that? That was
Jesus.
crazy. Wow. Yeah, so
And
was that 3? Yeah, it was.
yeah, that was 3. And same to you now, Hulk, because I've never asked you this either.
3 players that well, I guess, I've never played with a lot of, top 5 team players. So, I would probably, I mean, I guess, it probably goes hand in hand with some of the people that I think are among the best. I would say, the people that'd be really fun to play with on the same team would be, I would say, Craggy,
Hmm.
Cannon to Space, um, Turtle, Morobox, and just seeing the way that they come up with the lineups and how quickly they get their scores. And Notch will be another fun one too. It's like a bunch of YouTubers that are just killing it.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
Craggy too.
Good
Awesome
choices.
guy. Wow. What about you, Han?
Okay. Well, I was gonna say Turtle at one point, but he
Hey.
didn't include me, so
Haha.
screw that now.
That's
But in all
because you
honesty,
theoretically would be on the second team. So it's not possible.
Jesus, the burn. I'm getting roasted by you, Razor, everyone at this
Yeah,
point.
sorry.
I would say
No, but really,
Razor's probably on my list now because he's just unbelievable. I mean, it's
He
just
is.
every single event, it's he's top score. So it'd be a really fun one to play with, and just to see how how fast he gets his scores and what he comes up with as far as tunes and things like that. It'd be really cool.
Yeah, that's true.
that's true. So, anyways, I would pick. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna pick Turtle for one. I've
Hey.
always wanted to play with him. I tried recruiting him, and he shut me down. But sure, I mean, it's okay. We move on. I also would like to play with Jarso. I think, as Turtle said with Moorbox, we had our ups and downs in the beginning, but I think we've grown fond of each other. And he's a nice dude, and I get along with Vicky as well, so that would be nice.
Yeah.
And then the final guy is my boy Rosita. You guys know him as Razor, but I call him Rosita. And I mean, this one is an unfair one because he's actually now in my team with his alt account.
Yeah, he is, right? I was
But
actually
his
going to
account
ask.
is, yeah, but it's crap, so it doesn't count.
It's 4K. GP.
Yeah, exactly. It's horrible. So I need him to either I'm going to Unity at one point or
Ooh.
he's coming to Reddit. But I want to play with Rosita and have a laugh.
Okay, cool.
So now,
Oh, by the way, this is hinting to a Unity Reddit merge soon.
Yeah,
No, I'm joking.
we're gonna merge with Sisu and fight you guys. It's gonna be fun.
So
They're kind of
as
Scandinavian.
as we wrap this up, this is the time when I ask Juanito for a hint for the next guest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, can I? Sorry, I think Juanito, your hints are terrible. I'm sorry, but like
Okay.
everyone,
Do you think you can do a better job?
yeah, because you guys told me who the next guest was gonna be,
Okay, so
and
Okay. I mean, I leave it to you
so
then. Go
Turtle,
ahead.
can you give us a hint as the next guest?
sure. Okay, so I'm gonna try to make this not as easy as Juanito has been doing, but it was actually hard. What I'm gonna say is that he is from down under, and he's gonna be on the podcast to prove a points.
Oh, okay. I like it.
Okay, that's
That's a
decent.
good.
That's my hint.
That's much
decent.
better than the normal hints we get.
Right. Thank you. Yeah. I think
I'm
Hulkster
gonna
should
bring you
start
over
doing
next
this.
time.
Yeah, the Hulkster probably has some ideas. Yeah, but that's
Well,
the next guest.
Yeah,
It's gonna be
that's a
fun.
good one. I think
Yeah.
it's gonna be a little bit harder for people to figure this one out, but
Yeah.
they'll get it.
I hope so. It takes 5 minutes with my hints.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I like you, Juanito. I don't mean to spread a lot of crap on you.
No, I know.
I like you.
I know it's friendly banter.
Friendly banter, that's right.
This has been a really fun one. I know we went way longer than usual, but this was a lot of fun. Thanks for coming on, Turtle.
Yeah, likewise.
Thank you,
It's
Turtle.
really nice. Thanks.
So let's wrap this up. We definitely appreciate you coming on. We asked you some pretty tough questions, especially with the reset, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, likewise. I feel like talking about the reset is a really good thing for me as well, because a lot of people ask, and I think many people make assumptions without knowing like exactly what happened, and that can lead to things we do not like. And so it was really, thank you for like giving me the opportunity to explain. Like,
And you're welcome to come on anytime again, whenever you want, by the
ooh,
way. So
cool. What's your next hint? Is it going to be easier or harder?
I'm gonna try and make them harder. Either that, or I'm gonna hire you to make them
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm not cheap, you know.
So, but really, thank you very much,
Yeah, likewise.
Turtle, for coming along.
Thank you.
It didn't take much persuading, which was nice
Yeah.
because you've shut down everything else I've asked for.
Yep.
But really, I had a lot of fun, so thanks.
Thank you, guys.
All right, so we appreciate everyone listening, and we'll we hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you next time.